We are live for the first episode of Band Central. I am your host, Garrett Edgerson, and I'm glad you're here to enjoy the ride. Band Central is our main show here on the Marching Band Network, and it's a place where we can talk about band, and more band. It's the most wonderful time of the year. Nope, it's not Christmas, but it's parade season. Growing up in New Orleans, you waited all year for parade season to get here. From king cakes to Zulu coconuts, from uptown to downtown, to those epic band battles, parade season gives you everything you want. Let's send it down to Justin, who's in New Orleans, to give us a parade season update.
What's poppin' with you? It's your boy Justin, aka J Spitter, founder of Smashtime Productions, and I'm live out here at the bridge. Now some of y'all might be wondering, what's the bridge? The bridge is the most exciting yet important part of a Mardi Gras parade for a bandsman. Why? Because all of the band heads stand on the bridge. Everyone gets ready to see who has that big boom effect, who is gonna light the bridge on fire. It's kind of like an unsaid contest of who has the best performance under the bridge that night. Just imagine 65 to 100, and if we talking about college bands, 200 plus band members cranking their best song under the bridge. It's the most exciting thing. So here goes some clips under the bridge. Now in New Orleans band culture, the old school feel like they used to run the bridge. They did it like no other, but the new school feel like they're doing it bigger and better. It's a new day. So who run the bridge? What you think, Garrett?
I don't know, Justin. I for sure don't want to get in the middle of that argument, but the feeling of marching under the bridge during a parade is second to none. There's been an ongoing debate about which era of New Orleans bands was better. On one hand, you have pre-Katrina. On the other hand, you have post-Katrina. Like I said earlier, I don't want to get in the middle of this argument, but I know two people that wanted to. Now introducing our debate segment called The Fifth. We are live in City Park, so we're about to get into this new school New Orleans versus old school. Now I heard that the new school was killing the old school. Q, what you heard?
What I heard, man, is you sleep? Like new school killing old school, like these, man.
All I'm gonna say is a brand new day in marching band. You know what I'm saying? Old school did their thing, but it's new school turn, and they're doing it bigger than ever, Gary. You know what I'm saying? That
How?
Everything's just different. The music is way harder. You know?
What?
Yes.
What music?
It's
what
better.
music? What y'all like? What does the new school play that's harder than what we played back then?
Like the rap tunes that the new school play is just as hard as anything y'all play. You know what I'm saying? Even the way stuff is played now. For example, I know like back in the day before Katrina, one of my favorite old school clips is Kennedy coming up the street playing Velvet Rope. It's a real powerful clip when the mascot doing But if you listen closely, I play trombone. You play trombone, right?
Yeah.
Why were all the trombones playing the first part? Explain that.
That's one school.
That's one school.
That's
that
one
was a
school.
universal thing.
No, it wasn't.
Not all schools
No,
did
it
it,
wasn't.
but a lot of schools did play first part on trombone.
No,
you wouldn't catch that
no,
nowadays.
no.
So what you gotta say about it?
What I gotta say about that? All right, so back then you had a lot of schools that played what y'all thought was only first parts, but the first part was dominant. Like, and a lot of those clips you go back and listen to, you could hear the second and third parts in those songs. You could. I can look on the top of my head. I can name like 3 or 4. They got Reed playing Circle of One. You have Carver playing Ninth Ward. You got a clip of St. Aul playing I Call Your Name. I even heard a clip of Forshay in 2000 playing Can You Feel It Under the Bridge, and they played 3-part harmonies. So like I don't know where y'all get that from.
Let me say, I bought this up on Facebook one time in another bandhead group. Burger acted and he spoke on it too. And some, I don't want to call the name, but some of the old school cats said that was just a thing. Even some band directors from back then even said that was just a thing. That was the style they played with. Now why they play with that, I don't know. Nevertheless, I'm just saying, no shade to the old school. I just feel like some of the things that the old schools critique the new school on, they used to do the same thing. I watched multiple, like Discipline. I watched, Gary, you watched the tape one time of a school coming through a gate. Remember that time? Yep, the Big Pan song, speaking to their little partners, you know what I'm saying? It's certain things, it's certain things that the old school critique the new school about that they did probably even worse, bro. I'm not trying to play the old school. I just feel like
I feel you, but you bring up Discipline, but at the same time, I could pull up clips of new school bands where dudes literally walking up the street, like you got dudes marching while songs going on, pulling their cell phones out, like talking on their cell phones, like that's unacceptable. That's unacceptable.
Had cell phones back then,
we had cell phones. Look. We had cell phones. Like I graduated from high school 2005. Like when I graduated, we didn't have iPhones, nothing like that, but we had Nokias and Blackberries and flip phones and stuff like that. So we had cell phones back then.
You're not really like the old school, you know what I'm saying? Like the early thousands, you were like kind of almost before it, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, bro, I just think the old school be too hard on the new school, you know what I'm saying? That's just my standpoint on it, you know what I'm saying, G? So I don't know, bro. I just rock with the old school. New school.
And maybe that's a thing to because when I was coming up, like the cats that came up in the 80s and 90s, they was hard on us too. So I just think it's more of a generational thing. Like when you get older and they got guys 10, 15 years from now marching, playing, whatever the case is, y'all might be hard on them. They might be like, man, like, why y'all going so hard on us? It's just like it just keep this thing going. Like we want to make sure that New Orleans stay on top. So I guess part of that is nitpicking everything y'all do because it happened to us.
I don't know, bro. I think the focus is different. Like I hear a lot of band directors now say they're taking the music classes out of school. Like in the old school, they had things like music classes, and y'all had less distraction. Like now we have social media. A lot of the sports teams in New Orleans are going to the championships and playoffs and things of that nature, you know what I'm saying? So to get a kid in the band now is like almost a blessing, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Towards y'all wanted too much in the band. Y'all pride was there, but there's so many distractions now. So I think that the old school sometimes don't take that into account or they just don't think about that as for like new school, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I definitely feel that, you know, like now you have things like, you know, PlayStation 5, like you said, a lot of sports teams in New Orleans, they make deep playoff runs and stuff like that. So it's definitely a distraction, but I'm not gonna say that, you know, band all we had in our day, because we had distractions too, but it go back to what you said. At the end of the day, we really wanted to do it. Like we was dedicated to it. Like we had a lot more passion, and like that's no knock on y'all, but it was like we was really true to this. Like we really wanted it. So it's like if y'all let things distract, not you, but if this new era let things distract them easily, you don't want it as bad. So it's like, and if you don't want it as bad, then you shouldn't be here.
I definitely feel you on that. But with that being said, since I guess we got a common agreement on that, I just feel that with all of these distractions and with all distractions, band now is like it's striving bigger and better. Like our middle school band are off the chain. I don't want to say.
And you don't think ours was? You don't think ours was?
You showed me a middle school band that could have messed with any Atlas Hart band.
I went to the greatest middle school in
this guy.
Marshall.
This guy.
Thurgood Marshall.
Man, I went to the best middle school. We were just bad and we could participate in that. Carter G. Wilson. Shout out to Carter G. Wilson.
Y'all had the best band Uptown.
Y'all had the best band Uptown.
If y'all would have ran up on Marshall, y'all would have got smoked. Y'all would have got smoked.
Shout out to Mr. Charlie B.
Shout out Mr. Brooks.
Yeah, Mr. Brooks. I just think they was overrated. They weren't touching us.
Hell no. How was they overrated? You find.
I feel like we didn't get to look like they got to
Pull up
perform
any
with
clip
the battle
of
of the bands.
Smashtime.
You know what I'm saying?
We was the only middle school.
We could have performed, but we was
Why y'all
doing
didn't?
stuff. Yeah, we
Why y'all
could.
didn't?
We did. I don't know why we didn't. We could have. We most definitely.
And if
could've.
I'm keeping it,
It
look,
was good
if
enough.
you're keeping it 100, what's someone hitting on nothing since like
Oh,
the mid to late 90s,
We
band-wise.
definitely was good.
Look, it was a good conversation. It was good hearing the dialogue between these two, but we're gonna have more on the next show, so stay tuned. Man, that was a heated debate between those two, and I don't really know whose side I'm on. I love New Orleans bands, period. So there you go. On last week, I sat down with Johnny Van Buren, who is the director of bands at Marion Aberson in New Orleans East. He shed some light on some of the differences between pre-Katrina bands and post-Katrina bands, introducing our interview segment called The Zero. Things happen for a reason, because if you look at it now, you're back at home at Abe, so things happen for a reason. So you touched on the fact that y'all were on the way to being a pre-Katrina band. So you're on both sides of the coin. You know, you marched before Katrina and you're a band director after Katrina. So what are the differences between old New Orleans versus the new New Orleans?
To be real with you, the difference is kids play too many video games. Like, they have a lot more distractions versus we had video games, but video games was just starting to pop. But like, we took a liking into, and also the competitiveness nature that we had versus what they have now. Like, we grew up like, no, I didn't want nobody to be better than me. Like, I don't care who you are, I don't want nobody to be better than me. If you was talking about Abe, I bet you I'd burn you on your horn. So I was in my mindset, and a lot of people's mindsets in New Orleans was like, I don't want you to be better than me. You know what I'm saying? But I get that from some kids. I don't get that from a lot of the kids in this era. So I think a lot of the kids is a little lax. I think what helps out this era is you have like band directors that was on both sides, and when you know better, you do better. So like, you have to learn to adapt to these kids. So if they like video games, you make an incentive that if you do good, we can have a video game night. You know what I'm saying? So it's like stuff like you have to put in place. But I mean, because I'm one of those types that when it comes down to pre-Katrina and post-Katrina, like, I'm a band director in post-Katrina, but I was a student in pre-Katrina. Like, I understand like the arrangements, I understand what we actually was looking for versus me being a band director and understanding what I'm looking for as a band director. Like, the stuff that I did in high school, I'm not gonna try to do that as a band director and not teach that as a band director. So I think it's post-Katrina has been helped out right now, like after all, like in this era, like 2020 has been helped out from the fact of like they have a lot of band directors that's kind of like know a little bit more. Not saying, let me say this, because I don't want that to go left. They have a lot of band directors back then that know a lot. Yeah. But what I mean is they have a lot of band directors that evolve with the time. That's what I want to say. Evolve with the time. They didn't stay like that way. They have evolved with the time.
I would like to personally thank Johnny for inviting me into his home for this interview. The Zero will be posted on our channel in the upcoming weeks, so be sure to check it out when it drops. Let's send it back down to New Orleans, where Justin is in a place that all band heads know. Justin.
We're back and we're live in front of the Rosses on Chapatulas. And if you're a band head, yes, you know exactly what goes down here. Some of the best high school and college battles happen here before the parades that start in this spot. So yes, we have in New Orleans, we have middle school bands, elementary bands, high school bands, and the college bands that start coming down from Mardi Gras and really getting it on in this spot. Now some of you older cats, y'all know this is Save-A-Lot, home of some of the greatest battles like the Reeds versus Carver, and the list goes on. So listen, here are some of the battles that I'm talking about. If you don't know, here's a clip. Isn't it crazy how this regular New Orleans intersection turns into an entire battle of bands with hundreds of people watching? Yes, the last clip that you seen was Bloody Sunday. It started in 2014 when Talladega College and Southern University decided to have a friendly battle before the Boggers Parade. And ever since then, it's been an annual event. Thanks for watching. Back to you, Garrett.
Man, I'm ready for next parade season already. I cannot wait. But in the meantime, here on Band Central, we want to highlight the top songs that were played each week throughout the year. So let's get it. Our top 7 songs of the week. That'll wrap it up for the first episode of Band Central. I hope you enjoyed the ride. Like, subscribe, comment, and share. Really let us know what you think about the show. Until next time, we out.